¿Cómo estás? Hey, everybody. Listen, that's about as much Spanish as y'all gonna get from me today. But hello, hello, hello. Welcome, 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 everybody, to the channel. As you're coming in, don't forget to do this. And yes, I know I'm gonna have to do something to make that longer, but don't forget to do this. Don't forget to like the video on your way in. We want the likes to match the views, and we want to like this up. Now, I told y'all, yesterday, had some stuff going on. Okay, did have some stuff going on. So my energy was low, and I was like, well, I can't come to y'all with low energy if I'm gonna be slandering and dragging Florida moral compass Evans. Okay, I can't do that. I have to come up with high energy. I have to be ready. I have to be on go. I have to be on par. So now I'm here. I'm on go. I'm on ready. I'm on par. And you know what? I have good energy today. The energy is up. I'm not down. My social battery ran low. So you know what? I'm ready. But before we get into all that, few things I want to say before I get into the whole intro of it all. First and foremost, this is for jokes and jokes alone. Okay, this is no slander, no hate, no malice towards Esther Roll, who played Florida Evans. I have no beef with the actress. Okay, all my beefage is with Florida Evans. Okay, nothing to do with Miss Esther. Nothing to do with her, because she did the job she was paid to do. I just have beef with the character. Okay, like two different people. We got the real person and we got the character, and I can separate them. I got beef with the character. Secondly, if y'all must cuss in the chat, please make the cuss words creative. We want to be in the correct algorithm. We don't want also want to be able to eventually when I get monetized to get ads and stuff like that. So if you must cuss, please get absolutely positively as creative as possible. Creative as possible. Okay, do that. Please do that. Um, and then I'm doing that show tonight, and eventually I'm teetering between putting it behind a paywall. I am. Give me 1 second. The bars have dropped. Hold on. Holding on is hard to do when the love is gone, and that is no lie. I'm waiting for these bars to come back up. Okay, I am, playing around with the idea of just moving Love and Marriage Huntsville behind like a paywall, like a Patreon or something. Cause the first and last time I'm gonna say this, when it comes to that show and what's been happening, people are doing way too much, doing absolutely positively the highest levels of way too much, and nobody has time for that, to be bringing that negative energy and that toxicity nowhere near me and my peace. So that's what I'm doing. I'm teetering behind it. I'm teetering on doing it, but y'all let me know what y'all think. So before we get into the Florida moral compass Evans of it all, hi, hello, welcome to the channel. If you're new here and you like the content, please like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and share me with your people. If you're not new here and you don't like the content, still like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and share me with your people, because you know what? You may not like me, but somebody out there does. If you would like to follow me on social media, you need a way to contact me for business, you want to buy merch, and we have the 2000s kids merch, and I'm telling you now, why do you have that? Because I was a 2000s kid. I was born in the 90s. I was baby for the last 2 years of the 90s, 98, 99. The 2000s raised me. I was a kid during the 2000s. I spent my teens in the 2010s, and now I'm in my 20s and the 20s. And the 20s ain't all that it's cracked up to be. Okay, adulting is ghetto. It's just real. It's just real ghetto. Okay, so I spent my childhood years in the 2000s, and I'm a 2000s kid. We also got that No Storyline Hit the Unemployment Line merch, which is specifically for reality TV people on there. You don't have a storyline. You trying to fake the funk. You trying to play with us. You have no storyline. I mean, you gonna hop, skip, and jump onto that unemployment line. And then finally, we have the Elder Be Damned merch, and that is for the ornery, mean and surly, rude, nasty, and downright disrespectful elders who feel like they can say and do anything to you that they want because they have reached elder status in the family, or not even in your family, somewhere in your work or people you know. So you get you some Elder Be Damned merch, whether it be a mask, a water bottle, a sticker, a tank top, whatever it is. You go ahead and put that Elder Be Damned on. So if they come around you, you can just be like, Elder Be Damned. And it goes right there. It goes, Elder Be Damned. Okay? And also, we got the Hose for Heaven, $10 off your check, $10 off your order at checkout. Promo code that is HOES, the number 4, HEVN. Hose for Heaven. Shout out to DT for that. Shout out to DT. And you can find all that in the description box down below. If you want to donate something to the channel in a monetary value, in a monetary form, you can get that right in the description box down below and scrolling across the bottom of the screen. If you would like to donate to the channel in a monetary value, it's much appreciated, it's much obliged, and it does go back into the channel and it helps keep things going, like Canva and making graphics, Kahoot, and keeping up game nights and different things like that. And speaking of game night, the ranters, y'all need to go vote, 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 so y'all can figure out what y'all game night is going to be for this upcoming Wednesday. Yes, 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 please do that. But if you would like to donate in monetary value, then the Cash App, the PayPal, and the Venmo are scrolling across the bottom of the screen, as well as in the description box down below. And if you don't want to donate in that way, you could always, like, comment, share, subscribe, share me with all your people. You could also hit up the Amazon wish list, especially if you're like, I don't know where, my money's going. Where is it going? Then you can see everything that's on the wish list that is, wanted/needed for the channel, as in diversifying game nights, um, making the production value of the channel better, or just things I can make content with. If you want to do that, Amazon wishlist is linked in the description box down below. Everything does come to me and I do unboxings for it, so y'all can see that I have what y'all sent me and I appreciate it. Yes, 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 yes. And don't forget to take a look at the Amazon storefront. I feel like I covered everything. I told y'all Love and Marriage Hunter tonight. I have Roja tomorrow, and I'm probably going to do a Y'all Doing Too Much tomorrow as well. But yeah, we here to talk about Florida Evans, okay? Here to talk about Florida Evans and my feelings towards her. Y'all probably heard me across different people's platforms slandering Florida Evans, or you've probably been on the phone with me as I slandered one Florida Evans. And I'm just saying, I don't care what y'all say. I don't care how you feel. She needs to be slandered. And this is for the character of Florida and Florida only. This has nothing to do with the actress. But for real, I will slander Florida. So we're going to take it point by point, okay? Come with me on this journey. And if you have any Florida slander, and not the state, because I'm not playing with y'all about that state, the character Florida, drop it in the chat, okay? Do that. So, Florida's just supposed to be the moral compass of the family. She's a good Christian woman. She hold down the family, she everything like that. Listen, there's nothing wrong with this. Absolutely nothing wrong with, the premise of her character and what they decide to set the character on. The problem is the things that Florida did throughout the entire show. Okay? First and foremost, the time she came through the apartment and she was frustrated, and her and James going back and forth, and James put his hand in a hot bowl of oatmeal because he talked about, you gonna listen to me, I'm the man. First of all, he wouldn't have been talking to me like that. But then again, I had to think about the times and think about how old they were. I was like, okay. But it goes to y'all arguing in front of y'all kids. You came in huffing and puffing and frustrating. You slamming nasty oatmeal on the table in bowls, and you just going back and forth with your husband. So the kids are watching this, and the youngest Michael comes over, and it's just like, Mama, Daddy, please stop arguing. First of all, y'all could have took that to y'all bedroom. You tell him to stay out of it. Okay, you feel like he should stay in a child's place, but as a child, don't nobody want to hear that. First of all, y'all sitting up here arguing in front of this child. That child gonna get emotional issues, okay? Anxiety is going to start to kick up. And I get back then in the 70s, y'all weren't really hip to all the emotional issues and anxiety and the politically correct terms for different mental health issues. Y'all weren't politically correct, but that's what y'all was about to kick up in this child. And he shouldn't have had to tell y'all, please don't fight. If y'all gonna fight, take it outside, take it to your room. Don't do it in a common area where everybody can see you. Specifically, close to JJ and Michael's bedroom, because you know they didn't have a bedroom of their own. I'm gonna get on that. So he asked once again, please stop fighting. And you turn around and you smack him. And yeah, you was remorseful, but you didn't have to put hands on that child. You didn't have to put hands on him. You didn't. You really didn't. Okay? I didn't appreciate that. Then it was the caping for the Caucasus Jesus. And that Jesus was not black. And that the only Jesus she would worship was a Caucasus. Mind you, that episode aired during Black History Month. Disrespectful. And she didn't believe it until Michael had to pull out the Bible and look at how Jesus was described. Hair of wool. That Caucasian man up on the wall don't have hair of wool. So you didn't believe your child when he said Jesus was black. He had to take the Bible that you should have already read, okay? You should have already read the Bible. You should have already had the Bible out to the point where they were subscribing Jesus and realized that hair of wool. Skid. Oh no, Jesus was black. Florida had this nasty habit of not believing her children until they brought out like evidence, receipts, whatever you want to call it. And it's just like, ma'am, if I tell you Jesus was black, you say the only Jesus you worship is the Caucasus one hanging on the wall. And I bring out the Bible that you should have already read and you should have known from front to back, scripture to scripture, verse from verse. You should have known that Jesus was black. Okay. She went up for Caucasus Jesus. Nothing annoyed me more. Well, I'm going to get to what really annoyed me. But nothing annoyed me more when she was sitting up here cooning for George Washington. Michael was telling the truth about George Washington. He owned slaves. Let's not forget, it's been said that them wooden teeth that them people was talking about were not actually wooden teeth, that those were teeth of slaves that he ripped out of their mouths. And Florida calls him a great man and that he should be respected. Here, I'm going to play the audio for y'all. Hold on. Let me exit. Okay, I'm going to play the audio for y'all.
Because I'm black. I want the truth, Michael Evans. That is the truth, Mama. I am black. Michael, I want to know why you were sent home, and I want to know now. I said something my teacher, Mrs. Danvers, didn't like. What? I told her that George Washington was a white racist. What? Well, he was, Mama. He owned slaves. You little squirt. When do you come off calling the father of our country a racist? Where'd you pick up such trash? In the library. In a book on black history. Well, you still don't say things like that about George Washington. If you had to insult somebody, you should have played it safe and picked on somebody like Benedict Arnold. Mama, I was just telling it like it is. Look, boy, Mama, boy is a white racist word. This child is so black, I'm going to have to lead a protest march before you say I'm his mama. I want you to go right back to that school and apologize. Why? Tell me the truth. Mama, I'm quitting school. I'm going to get a job. Oh, come on, Gramps. Now, don't make a big hassle out of this. Going back to school and apologize like your mama said. Yeah, because daddy's gonna be home soon, tired and grouchy from working all night. You better not let him see you here. I don't care. I'm not going to school just to learn what they teach. Then play it my way. Go to school and don't learn nothing. Honey, I thought you wanted to go to college and be a lawyer.
That annoys me. You sitting up here talking about he's the father of our country. You should stop insulting Benedict Arnold. Well, that didn't matter. Your son spent straight facts to you. And it didn't matter to you because George Washington, girl, quit playing with me. Let's get to, listen. Florida was known for fumbling a bag. Okay, she was known for fumbling a bag because she had to be a moral compass. She had to be just a little bit holier than thou. Okay, known for fumbling the bag. Let's talk about that $5,000 she was offered to, promote a health tonic. But she refused to endorse the health tonic because she didn't want to say that she drank it every day and she didn't. Ma'am, it was $5,000. That $5,000 would have helped y'all with y'all rent. It could have got y'all stocked up on food for a few months. It could have did a lot for y'all, paid up the bills. Could have did a lot for y'all. But she squandered $5,000 because, I don't want to, I don't want to come off as a liar. A lot of these people on commercials are liars. Let's be clear. A lot of these people on these commercials probably don't eat, drink, smoke, take, drive, have half the things that they are promoting. It's a commercial. You get paid for it. You're a paid actor. Get your money. But because she didn't want to come off as a liar to the people, it was I can't do it. Boom, $5,000 squandered. That would have been the really that could have helped them with her college. That could have been money put away in Michael's college fund, JJ more art supplies, thinking ahead, not thinking about, well, I don't want to do it because I don't drink it every day and I don't want to come off as a liar. Girl, come on now. Now, I personally am not down with the scamming, so I understand why she, talked James and JJ out of going on the road with the crooked reverend who is pretending to heal people for $100 a day. I'm not down with that for the scamming, okay? Because a lot of gullible people fall for this, talking about they could be healed and then they get scammed out their life savings. That I'll give to her. I'll give that to her. Okay? I'll give that to her. Granted, they were still going to be eating oatmeal and cream of wheat and not a grit, a pancake, a sausage, or a piece of bacon, or hell, even an egg in sight. I'll give that to her. Now, what I won't give to her is fumbling James's bag when James got offered a job work $12 an hour working on the Alaskan pipeline, and he would have to work in Alaska for a good amount of years. She was selfish and jealous. And she made James turn down a job because she didn't want him to be laid up with no Eskimo women. But when that didn't work, she started to be manipulative and use the fact that, if you're not here, then Michael's going to get into a gang and he's going to be out here running the streets. She was so manipulative. So manipulative. Why is it that when your jealousy and you voicing your jealousy didn't work, you move on to being manipulative and making him feel like he's going to be a bad father and that if he isn't here, he is a bad father and that his kids are going to go down the wrong path because he's not here 24/7, 365. That money he could have sent back to y'all, that $12 an hour he was making. Hold on. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm about to do the math. $12 an hour times what? Maybe 96 hours in a month. That's 11,000. Hold on. $12 an hour times 40 hours a week. That's $480. How much was $480 back in the 1970s? I'm a check because $12 an hour he was going to make, and you got manipulative because you didn't want him to go and leave you all alone. Ma'am, two of your children sleep on a pull-out bed in the living room. They don't have no real room. Y'all have a one bathroom, 2-bedroom apartment with two, four, five people living up in there. And that $12 an hour you don't want? Oh, girl. A 1970s money calculator. Because Florida, it my pressure is rising. My pressure is rising. Okay? My pressure is rising. What's the money today calculator? 1970, $480 back then, a month or a week. Like, say he got paid every week. That's $480 back then. That's like $3,752.94 now in 2023 times. But if James was getting $480 every week, and let's say he saved up that $480 for, say, 4 weeks, that's $1,920 he would have been sending back to you. But no, you don't want to be left alone. You get manipulative. You don't want him to be better. You don't want to get up out the ghetto. That money could have helped y'all save and get up out of there. And him working there, y'all could have been up out of there. Up out of there. And it all boils down to, and it wasn't even about Michael. She got manipulative talking about Michael and how he would fall down the wrong path, but it was really because she didn't want to be alone. And it's just like, how are you ever alone? There's 5 people in an apartment. James gone. There's a total of 4 people in an apartment. And they all got to be in the house by a certain time. So how will you be alone? Oh, you won't be getting your back broke. Just say that. You would rather keep the family down bad in the ghetto, struggling, surviving, good times, because wasn't no good times being had at all. Because you didn't want to give up your back being broke every night. Just say that. Just say that's what it was. Annoying. Nothing annoyed me more when James found that money that belonged to the grocery store and he gave the money back. But James had kept a little bit. Now she forced him to give the money back. He gave the money back and they got a lifetime supply of some bullshit. But James then kept a little bit of the money. Kept just a little bit, squared away, take care of bills, take care of the home, everything like that. Okay? More money than they had ever seen before. And she makes James give the other money that he squared away back. Woman, do you not want to get up out of here? Do you not want nice things? Do you just want to be down bad, having your kids sleep on a pull-out mattress? They're too old to be sharing a bed in the first place. Like, make that make sense to me. It makes no sense. So, that $5,000 for the health tonic, you said no because you don't want to be a liar. James working on the oil rig in Alaska. No, because you don't want to be alone and you don't want to give up your back being broke every night and you don't want to give up him breaking that back like a glow stick and knocking that thing out the frame. Okay. The money from the grocery store. Oh no, give it back. It's not ours. Y'all can hardly pay rent. Hardly are making rent. Hardly making a bill. Y'all are eating oatmeal and cream of wheat. At some point, people want to throw a little sausage, a little bacon, a little egg, a little pancake up in there once in a while. Oatmeal's good. It'll stick to your bones. I don't want it to stick to my bones. After a while, you get sick of something. And then people just start skipping meals altogether, which is not a good thing. But who wants to eat the same thing over and over and over again? That's another thing. She should be brought up on charges forcing them children to eat oatmeal every single day and trying to get a little fancy and throw some cream of wheat in there, but mostly it was oatmeal. I believe she had a lifetime supply of oatmeal up in her closet. I do. Now, let's talk about the fact that, they could have gotten up out the ghetto. They had a condo overlooking Lakeview Drive that Cousin Raymond was just going to hand over. But Florida says no because Cousin Raymond played the horses. Girl, everybody gamble. When James in the first episode had to go get y'all rent money because you don't have a job, he trying to work, trying to get the money. Everybody got to figure out how they going to get this rent money so y'all have a place to stay and y'all not out in them cold Chicago streets. James went down there and hustled them people at pool. But playing the horses is just worse. Everybody gamble. You take a gamble in life. But you could have got your family up out the ghetto. Y'all could have had a nice condo looking Lakeview Drive. Everybody could have had their own rooms. It was probably more than one bathroom. And y'all really wouldn't have to worry about nothing but paying the bills and making sure them kids didn't eat oatmeal for the rest of their lives. But because he played the horses, it was a no, 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 no from Florida. That annoyed me. I'm gonna play the audio for y'all so y'all can hear how much Florida is just ugh.
How your cousin Raymond makes a living. He's a gambler.
I play the horses. Woo, that was close. Boy, for a minute there, I thought he did something crooked like being a politician.
Raymond is still a gambler. Now listen, everybody, you're just gonna have to give me some time to think about this.
What's there to think about, Bookie? When you had a dime, you gave me a nickel. All I want to do is give back some love to the only people I call family.
Raymond, you gamble for a living.
But what?
Girl, who are you to pass judgment? We thought he was doing something bad. Now, JJ said he thought he was a politician or something. I said, wait, he a hitman? Well, like, what is it? When I first watched the episode, girl, he gamble? As long as you got the deed in your name and he can't gamble away your place to stay, and you make sure he actually owns it to be able to give it to you, there should be no problem. But no, she got a problem with gambling. She got a problem with everything. I'm sick of Florida. I'm so sick of her. I'm so sick of her. Let's talk about how in season 4, once again, they was trying to make rent. Because if they didn't, there was going to be scratch surviving good times. Your ass is out on the street in the Chicago cold winds. Ain't nothing to play with. And JJ, being the man of the house, goes and bets on horses to keep a roof over their head. Because it is the quickest thing that is going to get them the money when they need it. And instead of being grateful that your rent is paid and she's not going to be out on the street and she's not going to be trying to figure out where she's going to stay to house her and her family, she gets downright disrespectful with JJ and then she kicks him out. Condemns him for playing the horses to pay the rent. And then gives him the old heave-ho out her house. Let me play this.
You take in goes into some child's veins.
Oh, come on, Mom. We're just a small-time operation. I ain't the Godfather. What we do is just a little illegal.
There's no such thing as little illegal. It's just like being a little pregnant. Think about what you're doing to the black community. Gambling is a terrible image.
Oh, yeah, Michael? Well, I think poor people living in a 2-bedroom apartment paying tomorrow's prices for yesterday's food is a worse image.
And I have to agree with JJ. Y'all tried to make it seem like, oh, him gambling is going to lead to him dealing drugs and doing all this stuff, and he's bringing down the black community. No. No. Everybody gamble. Caucasians. People gamble. Probably more than anybody. You don't hear that being spewed to them. Rent had to be paid. Rent had to be due. And whether y'all agree with me or not, somebody was going to have to get that money some type of way. Florida wasn't about to get out here and get it. Michael didn't have no job. Thelma was in school, and let's be clear, if it wasn't for JJ helping most of the time, Thelma would have dropped out of college. Come on now, don't do that. Don't do that, Florida. Ooh. Let me. Ooh, y'all like the video. Yes, y'all like the video. You know what I never understand about Florida? She always nagged James about, not going to church. But when she married Carl, who was an atheist, less than a year after James had passed away. But let's be clear. I don't believe, and somebody said this, and I also agree. I don't believe James passed away. I believe James faked his death. He moved to New York City. He opened up McDowell's. He met a nice lady, and he had his 2 daughters. One we know is Lisa, who, married the prince, okay? Married Prince Akeem. I believe James faked his death to get the hell away from Florida. I do. And I don't care what y'all say. He did it. It happened. He did it. It happened. But for real, she married Carl awfully quick after James died. And you know what? People have their own grieving process. But you were always nagging James about not going to church. But then married Carl, who was an atheist. So you was giving out stress and grief for nothing. Because Carl wasn't going to church either. Speaking of Carl, you moved to Arizona with Carl because Carl was sick. But moved to Arizona with Carl, leaving your children, JJ, Thelma, and Michael, in the apartment to take care of themselves. They had to figure out how to pay the rent and the bills and make sure everybody was getting to school and eating and all that good stuff. You left your 2 oldest children in charge of your youngest son. And then you roped Alana into it when she was a bachelorette living her best life, working down to the boutique, making sure she had her rent and her bills paid on time. To also make sure, yeah, you're my best friend. Watch out for my kids. Girl, what? Girl, huh? You just gonna take off to Arizona and not at least take the youngest kid with you? Come on now. Make that make sense. All types of neglectful. Granted, you have the oldest children. They graduated. They grown. They do what they want. But Michael was still very much in high school. You could have taken him with you. Could have taken Michael with you. That's neglectful, and that's abandonment. I don't care what nobody says. She abandoned Michael. And the grand resistance. Because I want to know wholeheartedly, when you decide to come back from Arizona, where exactly did you leave Carl? Where was Carl? We didn't hear about Carl no more. It's just like Carl never happened. It's just like you decided to take a big old break, and Carl never happened by the time you came back. And the only reason you came back is because you heard that Thelma was marrying a football player. And really, ultimately, it boils down to, I don't care what nobody says, if it was not for her coming back, Keith wouldn't have gotten hurt. Not at the wedding, he wouldn't. Now, football on that football field, that's another story. But if it was not for her coming back for that so-called wedding and wanting to be there to see her daughter getting married, Keith wouldn't have gotten hurt. JJ wouldn't owe Sweet Daddy Williams nothing. Because she found out Thelma was getting married, she decided to hop, skip, and jump herself right on back to Chicago. And instead of letting Keith and Thelma elope like they wanted to, she wanted to have this big old family wedding. We have to have a big wedding. We have to have a church wedding. Nobody has the money for a church wedding. Not right now, they don't. Keith was just about to really start playing football, and he not making it like he's supposed to be making it for real. So JJ, being the, de facto man of the house, since James, faked his death and ran off to New York City and opened up McDowell's, has to figure out how he gonna ride around and get that money to make sure his sister has this big, beautiful, lustrous wedding that his mama wants her to have because she doesn't agree with Keith and Thelma eloping, even though they was gonna have a wedding, a big old wedding later with all the Zuzus and Wham Whams and all the fixtures you could find, right? JJ gets the money from Sweet Daddy Williams. Ooh, we have a wedding. Yay! And then Keith gets hurt. He trips and hurts himself. Now he like his knee messed up. I believe it was the knee. Don't hold me to that, but I believe it was the knee. And now Keith can't play football. Now Keith is holed up in the house with Thelma and the rest of them people. And now it is back to 5 people living in one apartment. JJ and Michael sleeping on the couch until Michael ultimately decided to move out with the Caucasian lady and be her roommate so he didn't have to share no bed with nobody no more. So Sweet Daddy Williams come around looking for his money. Keith about to give up his watch. You about to give up your jewelry. But ultimately, this wouldn't have happened had you stayed your ass in Arizona with Carl, who we never heard from again. We never saw Carl again. We don't even know what happened to Carl. What did you do to Carl? Did Carl pass away? Did you off Carl? What happened to Carl is my question. Okay? That should be something else I do. What happened to these characters on these TV shows that we just didn't see about no more? We didn't hear about no more. We just like it was like they're figments of our imagination. Florida was a menace. She was supposed to be this big old moral compass, but she was a menace. And let's not talk about her, doing the most when it came to other people's children. And I'm not saying, oh yeah, she can't, try to help. She can't try to help with other people's kids. She can't be the village people need. You could definitely be the village. I'm talking about the overly dramatic. Talk to her now, Walona. Talk to her now. When Penny's friend got pregnant and Walona wasn't ready to talk to Penny about, give her the talk, which y'all parents should give y'all children a talk. It actually, and I mean about everything, it actually helps. From what I've seen, it helps them like navigate through life. And for the ones who didn't get to talk, those are the ones sometimes who fall down the rabbit hole of life. But Walona wasn't ready to give her the talk. And while Walona was just being a little, about the entire situation when it came down to Keith and Thelma kissing on each other, even though they were very much newlyweds. Walona wasn't ready for the talk. Walona just got a child that, she adopted this child. This child is big age. She not even a kid. So like it came off fast for Walona. But you sitting up here trying to give Penny the talk when Walona said she don't want you to give her the talk. You trying to do all of this after that woman had made her boundaries very clear when it comes to her child that she don't want you to give her child to talk. You should have respected that, but she didn't. She's known to be a habitual line crosser, and she likes to disregard people's boundaries. That woman asked you not to talk to her child. Hell, she tried to keep her child from going over there. If it wasn't for the child being attacked in the hallway when she was trying to get them shorts, that, like, y'all, how can I say this? There wouldn't have been no conversation between Walona and Florida. And then Florida saying, you need to talk to her now in its most dramatic voice. It really could have been a situation of you sit Walona down and explain to her, listen, I done raised my 3 kids, barely with the last one, okay? And I get that it's really hard to talk about, these things, especially with the talk, but you really need to, give her the facts and explain to her what's going on so she can properly make the decisions for herself as a young lady growing up in the ghetto on good times in the 1970s. But she didn't do that. She overly dramatic, a habitual line crosser trying to parent somebody else's child when in reality, she didn't ask you to. She didn't. Florida. Florida. Another thing that annoyed me about Florida is her trying to win the best apartment in the ghetto and having being indignant and getting an attitude when they brought Ned the Wino up in there. And it's just like, but it's Ned the Wino. And I thought open arms Christian, we take care of everybody who. And the only reason why they won or she won, because wasn't nobody else really down for that best apartment in the ghetto bullshit, is because they cleaned up Ned the Wino and hit Ned the Wino's wife just so happened to be the judge. And she said, I'm finally, finally okay with being seen with this man. And I'm gonna take him home. If anybody could clean him up, then you good people. But if it wasn't for your kids cleaning up Ned and bringing him home, you wouldn't have won. Like Florida State doing BS. If it wasn't her saying how she didn't want to do this because it was above her morals and reality, you was gonna get that money to help your family. Like I'm still mad about that health tonic. Like ma'am. People lie on commercials all the time. They do. It's okay. They let you know that these are paid actors. It is okay. Florida raised my blood pressure all the time because she was always doing stuff. Always doing stuff. Always. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Because Vita Bright had alcohol in it, she didn't want to drink it, but it's just like, man, you ain't had to drink it. You just said you drank it all the time. That's it. Like, for real. So I'm gonna touch on this because somebody wrote this. So it was like somebody made this post, I guess it was a long time ago, and says, I may get crucified for this, but this is how I feel. Just jokes. I grew up in a similar situation, no father though, and I never in my life seen a woman with so many morals. Ever. Being that poor and having those kinds of morals never made sense to me. It really didn't. I'm sorry. As poor as the Evans family was on good times and how many morals, like, it's great to have morals. We all should have morals, but that many? Girl. Black Jesus brought y'all good luck. You made James take it down. This is true. She did make James take Black Jesus down, even though Jesus is black. James finds $5,000 or however much he found. He has to give it back. That's that grocery store BS. And then when he kept a little piece of the money, you still made him give it back. That was that grocery store BS I talked about. She never wanted them to make it about the ghetto. The commercial, she don't want to lie. She don't drink alcohol. Da. Boom, money gone because you and your morals. When James went down to the pool hall or was about to go to the pool hall to get y'all rent money, making him put that pool stick back because you don't want him gambling and doing all that stuff. It's just like, so y'all gonna get evicted. What y'all gonna do? When JJ, when JJ got passed to the 12th grade, you wanted him to go back and redo the 11th grade. That's a hint. Like, I mean, if he didn't learn anything while he was in the 11th grade, I get making him do it over again. But, like, it made no sense to me. Like, it made no sense to me how every time every time the Evans family, in some way, shape, or form, no matter who it was going to be able to make it about the ghetto, get about it the ghetto, or do something that was going to help them, or had an opposing view of hers, George Washington, Jesus, anything like that. She had to figure out how to beat them down and how to work her morals into it to the point where she manipulated these people into feeling like they were just ultimate trash. And it annoyed me. Florida was not, when somebody says, "Oh, Happy Mother's Day," what TV mom would you give flowers to? I wouldn't give it to Florida, because while you may have loved your children and your husband, you did everything in your power due to your morals to keep them in the same spot. The ghetto was not the villain, okay? You were, because there were so many times they could have been up out of there. And then when we got to the end of the show, because let's not forget when that boy was hard of hearing the way she went off on his mama. Once again, there's a way to talk to people. And I guess she felt like you had to get down to that lady's level or do whatever it was, but it's like that wasn't needed. You could have talked to her like a real grown woman. Something's wrong with your child. You could have did that. Button into other people's lives when they didn't want you to. She did all of that. At the end of the show, when everybody, like storylines were being wrapped up all nice and perfectly, JJ got a job and he's moving. Michael got a job or was in a better situation and he was going to move. Keith got back into the football league and he had signed a contract and he about to move Thelma, and them Thelma about to get to, especially because she's pregnant. And Thelma's like, I can't leave without my mom. I can't leave without my mom. And then Florida upset because, Walona then got a better opportunity with the boutique, higher paying wages. She gonna be able to afford something nicer for her and Penny. Okay? Her and Penny. Mind you, I don't even think she knew about Penny until she came back for the wedding. Shows how much of a friend you are. You leave your best friend in a whole wide world, or so you claim, to raise your children, finish raising your children, take care of your children, and you don't even know that she adopted a child. But for some reason, Thelma don't want to leave her mama, and you just so sad because you think people gonna leave you, and it's just like no matter what you did, no matter what you said to them people, they was always gonna be down for you, and it just annoys me that Florida Evans gets, she's a moral compass, and she was this and she was that. It was just like, Florida was a pain. She was the improper influence. And that's all I have for my Florida slander today. And if you felt something that resonated in your heart and your spirit, you let me know in the comment section down below. And, share this with your people. But before I head up out of here, always like, comment, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and share me with your people. Also, you can find everything in the description box down below and scrolling across the bottom of the screen on how to donate to the channel or how to connect with me in other ways and how to, buy, different products like merch, lip gloss, Amazon KDP book. But before we get up out of here, remember to do this. I don't need to make it longer, but remember to like the video and also remember to vote for what y'all want to see for game night because it will be announced tomorrow. And, Love and Marriage Huntsville tonight. And with that being said, Florida was a terrible moral compass and she was the improper influence for the Evans family. And hell, I'm going to throw Alona in there too. She was an improper influence for everybody because nothing was ever good enough for her. And I still want to know exactly where is Carl and how did she feel about James faking his death and moving to New York City and opening McDowell's? I wonder. With that being said, I'll see y'all later. Bye.